So this is from the first 18 minutes from IGN of The Medium. Now check out the protagonist. I don't know what her name is. She moves like a character from Parasite Eve or Resident Evil, like PS1, PS2 era animation. And it's really strange. It's like she's floating off the floor, like she's hovering, or like she's sliding around on ice, and like she's not really attached to the ground. And I know that's not the world's biggest problem, but it just brings up a number of things for me, a number of questions. Were really actually two big questions for me. How important is production value, especially if you are on Game Pass primarily, okay? I don't personally care on one hand, like if we're just talking about the brain of Jaffe, I don't care about that because if the game is interesting, I'm not paying attention to it after 5 seconds. I'm just like, I want to see what's next. I like these mechanics of playing in a different world at the same time.
And then it happened, as it did so many times before.
Right? I mean, that's cool. I've never seen that before. I would trade sexy production value for something pretty cool like this.
Jack, it's okay.
My sweet little Marianne. What would I ever do without you?
The story could be cool. The characters could be cool. The whole experience. And that stuff, it's like if you're telling me that Microsoft is spending a little bit less money than Sony to make their stuff, or in this case, maybe a lot less money, but we get really interesting stuff, that's a trade-off that I'm fine with. But there's two things that are weird about it. One is that it seems like this should be an easy fix. Now, I don't know what engine the Bloober fellas and Filettis are using, but this is Unreal. They have motion matching in Unreal. They have motion matching in Unity. You know, if you do it like Naughty Dog, it's pretty exotic and expensive because they've pushed it beyond what you can probably buy off the shelf. But this is sort of what is expected for characters moving in 3D space these days. And so the weird part to me is, why wasn't this done? And again, Bloober's they've been around for a while. It's a hard business. They've survived through multiple games. They're not morons. They're not like, oh, we didn't know about it, Jaffe. I know they knew about it. There's probably a reason. But the weirder thing is, why didn't Microsoft step in and say, we know you're not officially second party, but you are really going to be our first soldier off the boat at the D-Day landing, if I may be so crass to use that as an analogy. And in that, we're gonna fly some people out to Poland. We're gonna help you guys out. We're gonna make sure that you guys can carry the Xbox Series X, Series S banner proudly into the next generation. Because if all it would have taken is this, or some of the Microsoft engineers to go out there and say, look, we got to work on your character animations. They just don't look very good. Not in terms of the moment-to-moment animation quality, but the way the character interfaces and interacts with the world. Why didn't they do that? I don't understand. So I'm very, torn by this. On one hand, I'm like, I can live with this kind of crappy implementation of a character in 3D space if it means I get really cool games, because I think most people don't pay attention to it after a while. But I'm also aware that there are a lot of people who care about this kind of stuff, and it pulls them out of the experience, and it also doesn't work for a good PR element. This is going to be something that the people who want to have a reason to dislike Microsoft's games are able to look at this and say, look at this, look how crappy these are compared to even PS4 generation, PS3 generation animations. So it's very confusing. It's very strange. I would love to be a fly on the wall and figure out what exactly caused this. And is this, chronic, or is this an isolated incident? So my question really is, literal. It's not one of these YouTube videos like, what do you think? Tell me in the comments. I'm genuinely curious. Like, what is happening here? And does it bother you? Could you live with this kind of shoddy presentation if you get really cool games? I know I could, but I also know that it's just weird. It's weird on a couple of fronts. What do you think?